Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Can you hear me? What's good, Jonathan?
Hello, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my man.
Good afternoon,
Alrighty.
everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey, Tammy. Hey, Miss Ebony. Let's see here. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in. Mr. Jonathan, give us a win, man. Give us something that's been going well for you.
I mean, you started with me. I one day I'm gonna have a better answer when I get that question right, because there's so many wins, but when someone asks in the moment, you're like, well, what's actually a win?
Yeah.
I'll say a win. I keep it related to my growing practice. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
So basically, I was working with another practice as well. Just I was too scared to jump off on my own, so I just like kept seeing a couple clients a
Yep,
week
yep, yep.
here. So now
I
I'm
get it.
completely gone. So now I'm completely
Mm.
dolo out here. So
Yep.
yeah. So the safety net is gone. So that's a win
Hey,
because I think I've grown in a way where I can handle that on my own.
that's dope. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's it is definitely no small task, to put it lightly, but I think it'll be important because it's hard to it's hard to grow your own if you're still kind of holding on to something else, you know what I mean? Time is limited, so many things going on, but now that you know, hey, this is it, like I think you'll see great results from that.
Yeah, man,
That's
that
awesome,
was
man.
the reason. I had double booked a couple times, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, it's getting out of hand. So I need to go ahead
Yep.
and I need to jump out there.
Uh-huh. Yep. Good, man. That is awesome. Alfonso, how you doing, man?
I'm well. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We're going over some wins. So we want to check in to see if you got a win that you could share with us. Life, business, any of the above.
Let's see. So I'm I'm considering working with rather growth therapy to help with
Hmm.
streamline clients and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I decided to put more stock into my creative side as well. So just kind of bringing that to the forefront. So those are wins for me today.
Yeah, 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 no doubt. Definitely
Yeah.
wins. Yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you.
For real, I love it. Cool. I will oh, I guess we can ask Miss Ebony, what's the win that you have? We'll ask Ebony and Tammy too.
Hmm. Um, I guess for me, I get to be personal. I was able to pull off a um a game party this weekend. I'm not a big
Mhm.
host on things like that. I'm kind of like reserved when it comes to having a lot of people in my home. However, this weekend I was under the weather, but I pulled it off and I got a lot of text messages back saying they enjoyed it. They had so much fun. Thanks for the outing. So that was an opening up stage for me because
Hmm.
normally I'm very reserved and I kind of isolate when too many people are
Hmm.
involved. So
Hmm.
that was a step up for me.
Nice. I love it. Miss Tammy.
Good evening. So I have like a work win and a personal win. So as far as work win, we are ending out the 2024 tax season, and I'm really excited about the changes that'll be coming forth for next tax season for our clients. I'm excited about that. A personal win is I was able to visit my family and visit one of my closest friends in Louisiana slash Mississippi. And I'm almost home. So that's perfect, a great win for me.
Nice, absolutely. I love it. Good. I'll give one. One I'm excited about is kind of alluding with or piggybacking off what Tammy mentioned. Is I'm really excited about the stuff we have this year for tax season. We've kind of kick that off now early in December because we do like kind of tax scheduling where you get to, pick, hey, when you want your tax return done. So we got a lot of good client stuff that's rolling out for that. So I was working on some stuff on that this weekend, which was cool. And I like how it's all coming together. I think it's gonna be a nice, smooth, easy breezy process, or as much as tax season can be easy breezy. But I think ours have gotten better over the last few years. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the new stuff we got coming out for clients. So nice. Okay. So then with that, let's jump into a couple of things today. Today we're going to continue on because we didn't get to go through all of it. Last week, but we kind of want to I'm sorry, I'm gonna pick on both of y'all today, Jonathan and Alfonso. But hey, gives y'all opportunity to ask any questions y'all might have or some stuff that might be helpful for you guys. But we're gonna talk a little bit about some tax planning stuff, some financial stuff, and what questions you have, some of the things you've learned, and we can kind of go over those different things. So feel free for both of y'all. If y'all have any questions on any of this, hey, that's why I'm here. I'm here in this space to answer any questions that y'all might have. But yeah, I say let's jump into it. Oh, and a couple of housekeeping notes, and I'll probably mention this at the end too, because we'll probably have a couple more people join. So as far as the academy, we will have, of course, we'll have this week, and then we'll have next week, next Monday. But then for the last 2 weeks of the year, we're gonna be off due to Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. So we got the next 2 weeks on, and then we'll give you guys the last 2 weeks off to kind of rest, chill up, chill out, be with your family, so on and so forth. However, what we will be doing is and actually, did we send out the email yet on that, Ebony, about the Christmas party?
Yes, Kai was sending it out last
Okay.
week.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we will be having a virtual Christmas party next Thursday. If y'all are available, we'll be starting at 4 o'clock. 4 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. to 5:30. Just nothing super official, but just a space to get together, play a few games, have some fun, get to connect with others. So we're gonna do a virtual Christmas party. We'll usually do a couple of events like that throughout the year, where we'll have like virtual happy hours, Christmas parties, different things like that. So we're gonna do one next Thursday, ahead of which will actually be crazy enough, be literally 1 week away from Christmas, next Thursday. But anyway, so just FYI for y'all on that one. Um, okay, cool. So let's jump into what I've got. Here we go. So one of my favorite topics, of course, tax planning. Because y'all will forever hear me say if you're a business owner, like there's no reason not to be paying a low amount of taxes with all the different things that are out there to utilize. But hey, I also want to make sure we're reviewing different things and like I say, answering questions that you guys might have. So my first one is identify knowledge gaps. Like what financial area do you wish you understood better as the year approaches? So I picked on Jonathan first last time. I'll pick on you this time, Alfonso. What's one financial area that you wish you understood a little bit better, or just even wish you had more information about something you wish you knew more about. And like say, if you got specific questions, hey, that's what I'm here for. Let's jump into those. But what's one of your questions there?
I'm pretty practical, so I like to um I'm more of a start to finish type of thing, like where
Hmm.
to even begin. Because I know one of the biggest things coming into this is that I was more concerned about, well, um how do I even do my business taxes, right? Because for a
Hmm.
long time, I've kind of like been struggle busting it for my on my own and trying to
Hmm.
figure it out on my own, right? Just kind of not acknowledging like, oh no, I actually need help to do this, still trying to figure it out on my own. So, like the where to start. But this year, I would say is that now I'm in the place where I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm licensed in like two different states, and
Hmm.
how do I even start taxes for those two different states? Do I do them separately? Do I do them together? That's kind of like
Hmm.
where my head
Ooh,
is
that
right
that's
now.
actually yeah, that's a really good question to jump in on. So I will tell you
Mhm,
this on that one is they will so the best way to do this, like you say, being practical and kind of starting at the very beginning is making
mhm,
sure you document what clients you have in what states and what those
mhm.
clients are paying you. So we have a few clients who do something similar. And so essentially what you're going to have to do is separate out the income based on the state. So let's just say,
Okay.
hey, I've got one client in what are the two states you're licensed in?
Texas and Louisiana.
Texas and Louisiana. Okay. So yeah, so you'll
Hmm.
have some state tax for your Louisiana clients. But let's just say, hey, I've got just say for simple math, I got 8 clients in Texas, I got 2 clients in Louisiana. Well, with
Hmm.
those clients in Louisiana, let's just say each one of those clients paid me $2,000 for the year. The 8 Texas
Hmm.
clients paid me 8,000. So now you have to separate it out on your end saying, hey, my practice made 10,000 in total. I made
Hmm.
8,000 in Texas, 2,000 in Louisiana. And so now on that 2,000 I made in Louisiana, you have to file a state tax return in Louisiana reporting that $2,000 as income. On your federal return, we still report the full 10, but on the
Hmm.
state return, you break that out because obviously you wouldn't want to pay Louisiana tax for money you made in Texas that's not subject to state tax. So that's why I say you
Right.
have to kind of look at the clients that you have in those states and break
Hmm.
up the revenue you've earned from that state so you can report that directly on that Louisiana state return.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Any other questions on that? That's a good one.
No, actually, I mean that
Okay.
actually helps. Well, I may think. Well, my next question would be when filing. 'Cause I typically file electronically. So
Hmm.
like maybe like let's just I throw an example, TurboTax or H&R Block, things like that.
Hmm.
Um, is it possible to separate? Because that was one thing I think I was looking for the last time to
Hmm.
separate the state and the estate taxes on that file on those filing forms or electronic filing forms, or do I have to do something differently?
I think so. I think there would be a way on that. I'm gonna be
Okay.
perfectly honest. I don't know for certain. Now I would tell you, I'm biased, but not biased at the same time. Where I would
Hmm.
tell you, you should probably have us help you with that to make sure we get it
Okay.
all done right.
Yeah.
Um, but you have to check with the specific platform. I believe there's a way to do it. But the reason why I say because you always want to make sure, especially when it comes to, I'm a huge advocate of this, which is why I say I'm biased but not biased. When it comes to having a business and running a business,
Hmm.
one, what you pay in tax prep fees becomes a deduction for your business anyway. So there's a
Ah,
natural deduction there,
got it.
and savings there. But plus, because there's so many different things in your business that you could be writing off, we want to make sure that you're maximizing those. Because I've seen it where people have gone through those platforms with the business, and
Yeah.
you answer one question wrong, it's not really going to prompt you. And I've seen people overpay easily, and especially when you have something like different multiple states and whatnot.
Hmm.
I've seen that go not great for people before.
Yeah.
But hey, I let everybody make their own decisions, but just the full disclosure on that. I think when you have a business, having a professional help to make sure you're getting everything out of it
Yeah.
is super helpful. Because I'll be perfectly honest, because I tell people this is sometimes we get inquiries from people who are doing their return who might not have a business, and hey, I just need a 1040 filed, whatnot. My tax stuff is pretty simple. And one,
Hmm.
everybody thinks their tax stuff is simple. I was like, well, I'll be the judge if it's simple or not. Let me take a look and see. But
Right.
sometimes we do get people, and I'm like, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Hey, you could probably do this for half the price, doing TurboTax or whatnot. If it truly is simple. If you just got a W-2 and a house mortgage and that's it, I usually point people in that direction unless they just don't want
Right.
it. Some people just like, hey, I just want my hands off of it. I don't even care. I'll just pay. It's like a service like anything else. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll just pay to get it
Yeah.
done. But when it comes to owning a business, that is the one hill I will stand on, if that makes sense, just because there's so many moving
Hmm.
parts. But as we get to that time, please, let us know if you got any questions. But I
Yeah.
would suggest that, and of course, we could walk you through, what that looks like.
Okay.
But especially with multiple states and all of that stuff, because you want to make sure that you're not over reporting in one state or another. Is why I would say that.
Okay. Cool. I definitely
Hmm.
consider that.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
no doubt. Well, yeah, of course. Mr. Jonathan, what's one financial area that you wish you had more information on or knew more
Yes,
about?
sir. Okay. So I don't necessarily well, I do have a question, but the question is basically so basically this year, right? I just jumped out there. It was like figure this thing out, jump out
Hmm.
there, we're gonna make it happen. Now we
Hmm.
popping a little bit, like we doing what we're
Let's
supposed to
go.
do. So as I go into 2026,
Hmm.
I want to do shit the right way. So
Yeah.
basically, this is like we talking French right now. So even when you say what question to ask, what question do you ask when somebody is speaking to you in French and you don't speak French? So I'm basically at ground zero. I don't even know what to ask. I just need the blueprint, pretty much of
Yeah.
what to do.
I got you. No, no, no. No, that makes complete sense. Well, similar to like I was telling Alfonso, I think it starts with just kind of us walking you through, and I know we kind of talked about this before, walking through the tax process, especially this being the first year, with a business. I think that'll help give you a lot of financial clarity too on, hey, how we should set this up, the things we can be writing off, the things we should be deducting, so on and so forth. I think that's the first step of it. And then after you go through that, I think in 2026, as your practice starts to grow, as you start, gaining, more revenue, which is great, then we can talk about some of the different processes and whatnot, which starts with like bookkeeping, making sure we got, the business bank accounts, making sure money's flowing into the appropriate accounts. We do have a new tool that I'm excited about that I can show you guys. I think we're going to end up putting it. We just kicked off our last week. We did our bonus VIP week where we have different bonuses for clients signing up for tax returns. And so a couple of those different bonuses are specifically tied to therapists and showing you, hey, when I have money coming in, how do I allocate that out? Where do I save? Where do I put it? And then the other one is, hey, how much am I making per session? Revenue, profit, and expenses per session. What's my overhead? So laying those different things out. That might be something. It might be what we do next week. I could probably walk you guys through that. I think that'll be a super helpful exercise. Um, where we can actually kind of walk you through what that looks like. Because I think for you, Jonathan, I think that'll be paramount as we talk about, hey, how to set up next year. So, like, hey, I got this amount of money coming in, whether it's 4,000, whether it's 8,000, whether it's 12,000. Hey, I need to put this amount here. I need to put this amount here, this amount here. So, kind of lining something like that up, I think is what'll help give you that foundation and help you and help set you up right for next year and moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. Because that was something I heard you mention, like the bank accounts or something. I forgot how many you
Yeah.
said, but I'm like, God damn, I got one. I was like, I need a few more.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, you know what? We're gonna do that. So yeah, definitely mark your calendars for next week. That's what we'll go over next week because I'll walk you guys through that tool. I'll give you access to it because I'll probably put it in the community too, so everybody can use it. But what it does is basically a 5 account system. So just giving you a quick high level. You have your main operating account. So then the next accounts that you want to have, you want to pay yourself. So obviously that can often just be your personal bank account, of course, but you want to pay yourself. You want to have a profit for yourself. So setting just a little bit of money aside, kind of like that rainy day money, but just for I call it just for fun stuff, not like, hey, I'm using this to pay CEUs later in the year. No, like just something as a business owner to have. That's the second piece of it. The next one, of course, is taxes, making sure you're allocating money to set aside for taxes. And then the next one is, hold on, which one am I missing? Oh, operating expenses. So, hey, what are just my usual operating expenses that I need to make sure I'm allocating for? So, those are really the main ones. Pay yourself, owner's profit, business savings. Sorry, that was the one I was missing. Business savings. So it's like, hey, that's the true rainy day fund for the business. A business savings, quarterly taxes, setting tax money aside, and then of course your, own owner's profit. So we'll go through that one next week in more details. But yeah, that's basically I think how you should set it up, and that helps you really see where your money is going, how much you're spending, so on and so forth.
Sound good.
Um, no doubt. Miss Anika, you there?
Yes, still playing mechanic, but yes.
Is there any financial question that you have that you wish you understood better?
No, I just close my eyes, pass all my paperwork to you, and go to sleep.
How fortunate are you? I tell you, blessed every
Right.
day.
Let's just keep it that way, okay? We'll just keep this train rolling and we'll keep it that way.
Oh, bet. All right. What about
No, I'm planning to do that multi-state thing next year, so I'm sure I will have questions about setting that up. In fact, if you want to set that up before New Year starts, we can put that on the list because I'm
mm,
hoping to add Michigan
hmm
by March or April.
Okay,
So, yeah.
there we go. And look at that, the queen of multi-states coming in herself right now. Hey, Erica, how are you?
Good. How y'all doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Um, Next up, is there, and I know we kind of went into this a little bit with Alfonso and Jonathan. Um, but what's the biggest tax question you have? Or does anybody have one? What's the biggest tax question that you have but have not gotten the answer for? Does anybody have one?
What do you
You have
need
one?
me to do? That's the biggest tax question.
In which way? What I need you to do in which way? Huh?
Uh-oh. Sorry. I said, with regard to my taxes, what do you need me to do?
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I'm just seeing the chat. Oh, nice. Learning French and Portuguese, Alfonso. I love it. Does anybody have one? Biggest tax questions.
I would say mine's is
Hmm?
what are some things that can be proactively done for
Hmm.
2026? Like, as you've been meeting with everybody, like, what are some things that maybe some of us missed that we can be planning ahead for?
Yeah, a couple of the biggest missed deductions I'll always see, and I think you're actually pretty good at this one, Erica, but even looking at your numbers, you probably still have some stuff that you might not utilize. Is one of the biggest missed deductions I see are meals, not writing off all of business meals. Because I'll look at, be reviewing tax returns for somebody who might have made, just say 100,000 in revenue for the year. and you got like $328 in meals for the year. It's just like, did you really not have any meals where you talked about business at all? You know what I mean? So, that is one that I see because, like I say, I think that as a business owner, almost every meal could probably be a tax deduction. So that is one of the ones I see. Also mileage, is another one, is missed mileage. I'll see that sometimes too, reviewing a return, and it's like, so, well, the biggest problem with mileage is not tracking mileage is the first one. But that's always a question we have to follow back up with. Like, hey, did you have any, mileage for the year? But I always suggest getting a mileage app. Um, the best one is, I mentioned this one before, but Hurdler. You do have to pay for it, but I think it's well worth the expense. And it's only for the whole year. It's like $100, like $99 for the year. Um, but it picks up every drive, and then every drive you take, and you just swipe right for personal, swipe left for business, and you can set if it's different locations that you're specifically going to, you can set those as favorites, and it automatically tracks those and saves it the next time to business or personal. So I think that's a huge one, because mileage is one of those sneaky deductions that can go by the wayside, but it's valuable because it's 67 cents a mile right now, business mileage.
Now,
So
I
that,
have one I want to add.
yeah, I was just gonna throw it to you too, Tammy. Go ahead.
Their business, their therapy,
Oh,
their own
yes.
their own therapy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You guys have to be in a healthy mental state to do your job. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's important for you to be able to to write your therapy off as your business.
So, question: if we've been paying for that on, I guess so, if I've been paying for that on my own card, can I reimburse myself and
Yes.
then still write it off?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go
Yep.
through my credit card and add up all my therapy sessions for the year, I can do a reimbursement and then you all will felt. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wait,
Mm-hmm.
hold on. Break that down. How y'all do that real quick? Because y'all got me.
So yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
eating, but
So
I'm listening.
essentially, as a therapist, so let me tell you the general rule. So the general IRS rule is a business deduction for you is anything that is ordinary and necessary for you to work in your business. Being mental health professionals, everywhere I've heard and seen, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong on this, it is highly suggested that therapists have their own therapist, i.e., Erica with therapists need therapy too, right? So that is, to me, so if that is the ongoing recommendation, that makes it both ordinary and necessary for mental health professionals running a practice to have their own therapist. That then makes it a business deduction. So what you pay for your own therapy is a business deduction going through that, lineage, so to speak. Does that make sense? Is that tracking, Jonathan?
Yes, sir. I'm over here trying to eat some chicken wings. But
Oh, you
yes,
good?
I got it.
Hey, it's lunchtime, man. No problem.
It
But
is.
yeah, yeah. So because it is recommended that therapists have therapists, yourselves, because of the field that you're in, that makes it ordinary and necessary, and then that therefore makes it a business deduction, which means we can write it off. So yep, absolutely.
So I just realized that mine has been coming out of my, I guess, so my question for me would be, since I'm technically on payroll, should I be paying that instead of taking it off the business card directly? Because I just realized it has been coming off the business card.
Okay, yeah. If it's been coming off the business card, then no, that's fine. It come off the business because it's a business expense.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
I want to ask
just
this.
double check to make sure you're not missing any that, or if it was something that you paid for personally. So I would still double check just to make sure. But yeah, if it's coming off the business, then you're good.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
what if you have multiple therapists?
They all count.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
still
And
therapy.
Alfonso had a question in the chat. I just saw it's gone now. I think he had a question
Oh, I
about
see it.
physical
What
therapy.
about physical therapy? Oh, good question. What about physical therapy? So yeah, so physical therapy. So here's how I would set up physical therapy. That one is slightly different, but it can still be deducted because what you would, this is one of those kind of proactive tax planning things, is that you can set up a essentially like a wellness expense for your business, and that's what then you can pay items like physical therapy for. So let's just say, hey, we determined that because, we are health and wellness business in general. And guess what? You can do this as the owner. Hey, we're going to reimburse 250 bucks for health and wellness items. So therefore, you reimburse yourself 250 bucks for health and wellness items. That gets you that deduction for physical therapy or,
Okay.
like massages, stuff like that. Yeah, no, well, that's a good point. Yeah, because sitting for long hours is physically taxing. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's why I have well, I don't usually do it in this session too much, but I have one of those my desk is one of those sit to stand desk. Um and then I have like a little walking treadmill. So if I'm in long meetings, I'll just walk on the treadmill. But you better believe I wrote that off on the business.
Hey, listen, I got a question. That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
what's
But my
up?
question is, how do you, because, okay, so right now I'm trying, because I have my business credit, I got my personal, I
Hmm.
got my business account, all that. How do you decide what's a business expense and what's not? Because we talked about that a little bit last week, and I just remember like, what's a business expense?
If it is a good question. So essentially what I was just laying out on the therapy, if it's anything that is ordinary or necessary for you to run your business, that makes it a business expense. So the IRS doesn't give you, crazy enough, they don't give you like, hey, these things can be written off as a business expense. No, they just say, is this ordinary or necessary for your business to run? If it is, then it's a business deduction. So you and us, kind of get to decide that. And once again, that's why we tax plan because there's ways that you can, you know, adjust different things just in the slightest way that makes it a legit, business expense. So that's what it's about. Is it ordinary or necessary? Is it needed to run your business? If it's needed to run your business, then it's a business deduction.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right.
Bet. Cool. Um, let's see. Oh yes, yeah, yeah, Alfonso. I've gotten basically all of my desks now are sit to stand desks. And of course that's a tax deduction too. Not only just because one, I'm tall, so it helps me adjust it, even just, sitting, depending on the chair. But yeah, just being able to stand up, after, like you say, sitting for so long is so helpful. But yeah, stuff like that. Absolute tax deductions there. Or even I know Anika's done this. I can't I think it's weird. But she has this, I call it a little pogo stick looking chair that she sits in. Is like the seat, it seats like a bicycle seat, but she sits in that during sessions. But she has an impeccable posture, I would say. But even something like that, hey, that's a business deduction too. So yeah.
It has a rounded base. It's a stool that you can raise and lower, and it has a rounded bottom, so it's not flat. And it
Hmm.
forces you to engage your core while you sit in it. And yeah, it does look like a bicycle. It's wider than a bicycle seat. It's not quite a bicycle seat.
Barely, barely. But yes, maybe a little bit. But yeah, stuff like that you need to be comfortable to do your job can all be written off. So yeah, nice, good questions though. Um, Now let's go. Let's talk about this one. What's one financial decision? Um, what's one financial decision you can make now that would help you feel more prepared for tax season? Or even just next year, just in your business and whether taxes, finances, business finances, all of that. Does anybody have anything on that one? Am I gonna have to pick on somebody? I know you got something, Erica. You
I think
always making business and financial decisions.
I think
What's one
uh,
you've been contemplating or one you recently made?
just being more diligent, and you actually named it earlier about tracking my monthly expenses myself. So like I think I want to get some type of like notebook where I literally write down my meals. I write down, even though I know y'all have y'all tracking it for me, and
Hmm.
but like what I realize is I'm still a paper to pen person, and if I had something that I could look back to every month, I think I would feel better about being able to say what did I do good this month, what could I do better next month. So getting a journal where
Hmm.
I start, I guess like a checkbook type of checks and balances system, but where I
Hmm.
start doing that for every single business purchase, whether it's I go to the Dollar Tree and I spend $5. If I use my card, like reimburse myself. Because that's another thing. I
Hmm.
I also feel like I spend a lot of my personal money that I
Hmm.
don't reimburse myself for that I should be.
Yep.
And then it's just like, oh well, it was $5 here, but that $5 adds up when you're
It
doing it.
adds up. Yes. Yeah. Throughout the year, throughout the weeks, throughout the month. Yeah, that stuff adds up. And so also keep this in mind too, because especially because you are an S corp, you can easily do a reimbursement. Honestly, it looks like just like anybody, just when you worked a job and you did mileage or you pay for something, it's literally the exact same thing. Hey, here's the things I spent on my personal card. The company's going to reimburse me for that. So actually, I would make it a point to even look at that, weekly. That's why I think your journal idea is probably good. Like weekly, monthly, whatever the cadence works best for you, just to make sure you didn't spend anything. But here's what I would tell y'all to think about in general, to just to be on the front end of that, is every time you buy something, I would be proactively thinking like, can I use this for business? How do I write this off? Like that should be the first question. Like, can I write this off for business or can I not? Like, I think that should be, I want to have y'all have that kind of mindset shift of like, let me prove this isn't a business deduction. So I write it off on the business, other than just assuming it's first a personal deduction. You know what I mean? See that kind of slight mindset flip, like, hey, everything I'm buying, how can I write this off for
Alan
business?
tacos.
Uh-huh, go ahead.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
What were you saying? Oh wait. Oh. Wait, did you have something, Nika?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Mama bought y'all tacos and I accidentally hit the button walking. I'm sorry.
Oh. But yeah, so that's the one thing I'll say is just kind of have that mindset shift of thinking first every time I buy something. Ooh, can I use this for business? Can I deduct this? Is this going to help me in my business? If so, then let's run on the business card so we get all those business expenses. So just having that slight shift, but then looking back at everything personal, be like, ooh, you know what? I bought this for personal, but maybe I ended up using it for business. There's stuff like that happens, and then that's where you would look at, hey, doing that weekly, monthly, and just reimbursing yourself for it. Um, I'm not gonna kick you out yet, Nika. Not yet. Um, let's see. Jonathan, you got anything? Any financial decision you're pondering, thinking about? I know you're making a lot of decisions now as your business is growing and starting to do well. Anything you got?
Um, I think what I was thinking about just kind of listening to Erica talk was making sure just everything is in order, just knowing where everything is, like
Hmm.
just knowing where all your money is and just not
Yep.
having it
Yep.
floating around and be paying for something. Not something on auto pay. Like you got Hulu on auto pay and you realize you've been paying for it for 6 months or something like that. I ain't trying to have none of those, none of those type of issues.
Yep. Yep. That's a good one. That is a good one. Let me know if you have anything, Alfonso. Any financial decisions that will help you be more prepared in next year, tax season, so on and so forth. If you put it in chat or you can say it, just if you got something.
Let's see. I agree with what a lot of what I heard about like the organization of things, where that's one of the things
Mm-hmm.
that the month to month checking, um, like checks and balances is always something good to have.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that and Ebony was able to help me with is I was looking for a system to pay myself. Instead of doing that kind of like, on my own little by little, but I think that would definitely help me organize how I pay myself versus what is also left in my business bank account. And, because I'm doing well with the savings piece
Mm-hmm.
of putting into the business savings, but I mean, all of that is business. I didn't want to put everything in business and then not pay myself in
Right.
the process. So yeah, so that helps me like for future references.
Nice. And then think about this. This is why I said I want y'all to be thinking about, putting as much into the business as possible. And of course, if y'all have questions, that's why we're here, so we can, help you determine. Like, yeah, absolutely, we can write that off. Or sometimes I'll tell you, like, you know what? I like the thought process, I like the effort, but unfortunately, we can't, write that thing off. But we'll help you either way. But no, I like that setup, and like I mentioned earlier. I think what we'll do next week, Alfonso, is go through what we call what I just created this tool for therapists. I call it the money map, just to show you, hey, here's my money, here's how we're gonna map it out. And so I think that helps you with, how much to pay yourself, how much we need to be looking at in expenses. And this tool actually based on your practice size will actually show you like, hey, here's the suggested percentages, that you should probably be spending. Of course, every practice is a little bit different, but just to kind of give you a generalized idea of what that looks like, whether you're solo, whether you're a small group, whether you're a large group, kind of looking at that top to bottom. So we'll walk through that more diligently next week. So I think that'll help you. You're talking about, how to pay myself, so on and so forth. Um, okay, that's dope. And then let's get into just a few things marketing wise too. So on client discovery, what is oh yes, is what you perfect. Yep. We'll go through that next week then, Alfonso. Um so what's one way clients found you this year that surprised you? Anybody have something like that? Like, hey, what's some good things that worked this year? They're like, oh wow, clients found me this way and I didn't know.
I just got some what on Friday. It was like some psychiatrist out of like third ward or something sent somebody my way. So I'm like, I don't know how I got to them, but we'll take it.
Hmm. Hmm. That's a good look. Did you find out what psychiatrist it was?
Yeah, I got his name.
Oh, see. Then as we talk about referrals, it might be somebody to follow up with and be like, hey, take them a Christmas basket or something.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
that
what I
was
mean? Like,
my next step. I was gonna reach out. I was gonna,
yeah, see?
connect the dots,
Yep.
but yeah.
See, that's dope. And then, hey, look at more psychiatrists to see, like, hey, maybe there's some others who we can, reach out to who can do the exact same thing. So that's dope.
Apparently it's hard to find black guys in this, so you know what I'm saying? So I
Natural
guess I'll pop
advantage,
up
right?
on a list, bro. I guess there's some list out there. Me and Alfonso on there.
No doubt, 100%.
That's
I
real.
love it. Yep, yep, yep. What about you, Alfonso? Do you have a surprising way clients found you, or like a marketing thing that you found was helpful? Anything like that that's happened?
Um, Social medias, I mean, sometimes it filters through.
Hmm.
I'm surprised when people like send me a DM or something like that, or say I saw you on
Hmm.
Facebook and this is what it said, and I'm always surprised by those because I don't usually get as much traction as I expect. But when it does
Hmm.
come through, it's rich.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Um. Oh, this is very hard. Um. Do you have some, Erica? What's a surprising way that clients found you this year?
I wouldn't say surprising, but it worked. So it was more of a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Um, I've had a lot of flight attendants that end up calling.
Oh.
Pilots, people in the airline industry. Because what I
Yeah.
started doing on my flights is I give a little goodie bag to flight attendants that has like
Oh,
a
that's
little
dope.
card in it and the agency information. And we've actually had, and even my husband, he was on a flight. So we've actually had several people call who either met me or met somebody else on a flight who was looking for a therapist. So
Yo, that is brilliant, actually. I love that. That is a great idea. I don't know, Erica. I feel like you have I know you're doing so many things. I feel like you have a natural built niche for all things travel. So you who knows? You can be the flight attendant therapist.
I ain't trying to be nobody else's therapist after 2025.
I know, I know.
Flight attendants
That's
probably
dope though.
need it too, because they can deal with a lot
Yeah,
of. Boy, I
yeah.
bet that seems like a tough job.
Right?
Ironically, I have a lot. I ended up taking on a few of them. And yeah, the stories I heard, but um, so yeah, working with them is really interesting. Only thing is I have to be very flexible with them
Mm,
because of their schedules. So
yeah,
trying to get them to be able to do standing appointments doesn't work.
good point. That's a really good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I love that. Nice. Um, I would say this. Okay, here's another kind of reflection for the year. And I want everybody to answer this one. What marketing activity felt natural that you think you can take into next year? And what one did you maybe try and you're like, probably not gonna do that one? Anybody has some good ones on that one? Like what felt good this year that you want to continue on, and what's one that you learned probably isn't gonna work for you?
I think for me, like I'm really ain't a social media person, right? It ain't my jam. I never really got down on it. So
Hmm.
my wife, she keep me up in there, keep me in the algorithm a little bit. But I think that's something that just I don't think I'm ever, I don't know, unless something changes, that's not my go-to.
Yeah.
But I think what I've noticed works for me is just networking, just talking to people. I feel like
Mm.
I don't know. Sometimes I talk to people and just like I say, "Oh, we can't find a black dude," and I'll be like, "Oh, what's up? I'm right here." And then
Right.
next thing you know, somebody calling like, "Hey, so and so told us about you, sent you that way." So I think I don't know what
True.
that's called, but just like talking to people.
Yeah. No, just networking. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And and I fully understand what you're saying on socials. I think as a business owner, and like I say, this is one of those hills that I think will always be there for me. I think as a business owner, it's necessary, but at the same time, I don't think that has to be like your main way of getting clients. I think it's more of a honestly see social media as more of an in this day and age, an extenuation of like your web page, where if somebody's looking for you and trying to find you, like they'll probably go to your social media, they'll probably go to your web page, they'll probably go to your social media, kind of see what you're about, see what you're like, so on and so forth, stuff like that. As far as using it as a direct avenue to gain clients, that's a lot tougher because you got to think, hey, you're just like you say, you're part of the algorithm, you're part of what they're scrolling by, and so you have to have something that makes people stop for you to be gaining clients on social. I just see it as more of an extension of your brand, more as an extension of, when people do look you up, ooh, what's Jonathan talking about? You know what I mean? So I see it more of an extension like that. Not that, hey, you have to be doing this 24/7 and gaining clients from Instagram or from LinkedIn or from Facebook. You know what I mean? So just my personal opinion. But I think as a business owner, hey, you still want to be where the people are, but that doesn't have to be your main focus. So I like that. What about you, Miss Erica? What's
No,
something that's worked and something that hasn't worked as well?
yeah, I agree with Jonathan. I'm not a social media person. I've
I
tried.
know.
I do think what works well is when I am asked to be on other people's stuff though. Like that, I don't
Ah,
mind doing that because it doesn't require as much energy from me.
yep.
But what I also feel like for me that's going to be different is honestly less visibility of myself. So I think that
Mm.
is what I've learned this year is because what happens is then when people call and they're requesting a provider, there's this that we gotta have this conversation around it won't be me, right?
Yep.
Or
Yep. I can see that.
somebody referred them and oh, I want Dr. Reeby and I'm not taking clients. So one thing I want to do in 2026 is highlight my therapist more, put more focus on everybody else and me be like literally try to work on being more visible marketing wise behind the scenes and figuring out what that looks like.
I like that. That's good.
Hey, Erica. Oh, hold
Go
on real
ahead.
quick.
Go ahead.
I just want to
Go
say
ahead.
something. I really like and appreciate that flex that I'm not taking clients because like I'm on the other end of that. So I just see it and respect it, and I'm just excited till one day I'm sitting somewhere and I'm talking to y'all. I'm like, hey, listen, I gotta find somebody else for you because it ain't gonna be me. I love that. So
I
shout out to
appreciate
you.
that. But trust me when I say it's a hard. We didn't get her easily because I still see
Nor,
clients,
nor
and Alan
quickly.
can tell you, I still see 10 to 15 clients a week, even though I probably should be seeing zero at this point, just because of everything else I'm doing. And so I really want to get to a point where I can run the business and not be spinning the wheels. So for me, marketing is just really going to be about going back to highlighting the business, other people, and not so much me being the face of the thing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's a natural thing in business. I know I've dealt with it, as you have a business that grows, you become the face of it, so everybody coming in wants you. You know what I mean? So I get it. But I think that's a good move, Erica. Kind of highlighting your team, highlighting them. Now, this is some we talked about before, and since it's not you now, I think it could definitely work well for your therapist. But we talked about having video on your website. What about your therapist video? That's a way to highlight them.
Yeah, but they no. I what I realized for us, that is just not our area. Like the
Not
whole
even for
video,
them.
no, because again,
Okay.
even that, most of them are full
Ah,
because
gotcha.
of our contracts with the schools and stuff like that. So I don't know. The video thing, I just don't think it's for us. And I it just we've been able to work without doing it. And
Hmm.
so I just don't the consultation thing is just not that's not my lane. Because consultation
So, mhm.
15 minutes turns into an hour and here we are and you ain't paying me to sit on this call with you for 15 minutes. And I think because I have a lot of newer therapists, that is not what I want to spend my time teaching is how to get somebody off of a free consultation. So if I just say that
That's
we don't
fair.
offer it, you can schedule a session. If it don't work out, you can find another therapist. That's fine. We get that. It's better than trying to help somebody learn how to back somebody out of a consultation.
Well, then let me ask you this. When you say you want to highlight your therapist, in which way are you thinking of highlighting them?
So doing how I used to like last year, well, was it last year? My years is running together. When I had Taylor, remember every month I used to highlight a
Oh.
therapist and
Hmm.
then I would
Hmm.
have Taylor, the social media manager, do the
Hmm.
interview with them. Going
Hmm.
back to doing that or having my therapist
Got it.
do content because some of them are good at that. Having them
Hmm.
do content day in the life of, and we post it on the website. Having them do more TikToks because they want to do those things. I
Oh,
just
okay.
they want to do
Well,
those
that
things.
well, that's the video I'm talking about. I'm talking about stuff like that.
Oh, I thought you were saying like an actual like, hi, my name is, and that we post on the website.
Oh no, it could be either or. I think that's the start of it, but I think that's just like the step one. I actually like what you're saying even better,
Okay.
just having showcasing more of their personality just in video format. Because like I say, I think that's the quickest way to connect with somebody in this day and age on social media, on a website. So no, I honestly like that better than just the, welcome intro video, because that gives more, more insight into them. That's why I was curious as how you were thinking, like, okay, highlight them in which way. But yeah, no, I think that's dope. Nice. Let's see here. Um, oh goodness, we almost our time. So let's do this. So, year-end strategy and goal alignment. So I would just think about this. Hey, what's the out of the stuff we've kind of talked about, what's the most important shift or change that you want to make this year that can, roll over to, next year? Um, define what does finishing strong be? What would ending the year mean well to you financially, emotionally, operationally? If you have a bottleneck, if you have a constraint, like Erica, as we talked about, your constraint is you. So it's like, how do we get these things off of you? One, so like you're not picking up more sessions, to make sure that you're trending from 15 to 12 to 10 to 8, even more downwards. And then what systems need to be, cleaned up? What do we need to streamline? What do we need to delegate? Before the new year. So that's definitely things for you guys that I would think about. And then, I'm gonna touch base with you guys on when we talk next week to think about, hey, what's one shift that we can make now that would, carry us over into next year. But y'all mentioned a few good ones, like, hey, let's start, whether that's tracking mileage, whether that's making sure we keep a kind of pen and paper record of the things we're spending. How do we try to think first of, hey, can I use this as a business deduction? Doing those type of things, or hey, these are the marketing things that worked really well this year. How do I continue that on to next year? So, anyways, I'm big on just kind of reflecting on what's gone well for the current year to make sure that we carry it over to the next one. And then on the flip side, what hasn't gone well and how do we make sure we don't do that, going into next year. So anybody have anything else on that? Everybody good? Nice. Well, cool. Well, as always, appreciate y'all. And remember, the sooner you get to your dream practice, the longer you get to enjoy it. And we're here to help you every step of the way. Y'all have a blessed Monday. Bye.